Hello everyone, I'm back, and today will be a surprise video, something different. I will still be using Football Manager as the background. So 2 days ago, I came across this article from various media sites, and I saw Deloitte, a very big auditing firm, came out with their Football Money League in January 2018. So anyone who's watching later, this video is pretty time sensitive, but I'll be discussing the annual financial statements, 2016-2017 seasons. I'm just going to review what they had as like a top 10, I suppose. So, explanation and disclaimers. Deloitte also put this in their report. So the revenue that they're counting, that I'll be talking about, excludes player transfers, VAT, I believe that's like value-added tax or something of that sort, and other sales-related taxes. And three categories that Deloitte went through, or they categorized the revenue, was match day, broadcast, and commercial revenues. Match day are gate receipts, primarily, and broadcast are TV deals from domestic or continental competitions, and then commercial revenue includes sponsorship, merchandising, and other revenue related to commercial operations. So, how will we get cracking? And maybe we should start off at the bottom, I guess. So, at number 10, we have Juventus. And they, according to Deloitte, had a revenue of 405.7 million euros in 2017, which is a very large increase from last year's 338.9 million. So primarily their revenues come from broadcast, 58%, and commercial would be 28%. So they're definitely very reliant on their broadcast revenues, and they should be improving slowly as they make their name in Italy. So I would imagine the commercial end would improve. All right, and then number 9, we have Liverpool in the English Premier League. And they, according to Deloitte, had a revenue of 424.2 million in 2017, which is a sizable jump from the 403.8 million euros in 2016. And primarily their revenues come from broadcast, 43%, commercial is 38%, and their match day is 19%. And if they can improve and try to move forward in Champions League, as the report said, that they'll probably have improving revenues. So up is up, I guess, for this team. And then we have, whoops, spelled that wrong. We have Chelsea, another Premier League team. And they had a revenue of 428 million euros in 2017, which is a decrease from their 447.4 million euros in 2016. So just like Liverpool, a large chunk of their revenue comes from broadcast, 44%, and their commercial is 38%, match day 18%. So they also, like all Premier League teams, they rely heavily on their broadcast revenue, for the most part anyway. There are some exceptions, and I'll get to that exception soon. And number 7, we have Paris Saint-Germain. They had a revenue, according to Deloitte, 486.2 million euros in 2017, which is a sizable decrease from their 520.9 million in 2016. And primarily their money comes from commercial, which is 56%, broadcast 25%, and match day 19%. And if I recall correctly, their sponsorship money comes from some Qatar group. So, as people have said, it's pretty much a country, an entire oil-rich country backs Paris Saint-Germain and Ligue 1. So you could say it's kind of, sort of deceptive with the huge commercial revenues. But if a country's supporting you, I'm pretty sure that money will never disappear unless the country dies. Yeah, PSG, money, money, money. And then 6th, we have Arsenal. And they had a revenue of 487.6 million euros in 2017, which was a slight increase from their 468.5 million euros in 2016. And they did well, or they will, I would imagine, do well in Europa League this year. So in next year's reports, I would imagine that Arsenal would have a sizable increase in the revenue. 28% is commercial, as in most English Premier League teams. 48% of their revenue is from broadcast, and 24% is from match day. And then we're going to start getting into the big boys. Manchester City. They rank 5th, and they're the first ones to break the $500 million mark and 527.7 million euros in 2017. And compared to last year, it's a very minute increase of almost 3 million from 524.9 million euros. And they are surprisingly, they have a divided up revenue stream, so 44% from commercial, 45% from broadcast, and 11% from match day. So the percentages are fairly even for the most part, with the exception of match day. And yeah, Manchester City, I saw in the article, they said that they're sponsored by Amazon. That was a shocker. I did not know that. So you learn something every day. Bayern is 4th, and they have a revenue of 587.8 million euros, which is declined from their 592 million in 2016. The majority of their income comes from commercial sources, 58%, 25% from broadcast, and 17% from match day. Yeah, Bayern is dominating Germany. They're getting the most money, and I'm not gonna lie, it's as what most people say. It is a very boring league. I've watched some of their games, not a lot. I watched like probably the first half, and then I get bored. I don't know how to describe the feeling. It's kind of dull, because we all know Dortmund in real life are going to lose to them. Leipzig will lose to them. Who else is there that's a big team in Germany? Hoffenheim is pretty big nowadays, and they lost this weekend. So the main competition just can't take on Bayern. So if, like people have talked about this, if you're the best team, way ahead of everybody else, not even a ghost of a chance of them catching you, Bayern's probably going to reach a ceiling eventually for the revenue, but who knows when that ceiling is going to appear. And let's not get too off track. And then number 3, we have, whoops, this game doesn't spell out their name. Oh man, my keyboarding is getting sloppy late at night. And then we have FC Barcelona as 3rd. They have a revenue of 648.3 million euros in 2017, a sizable increase from the 620.2 million in 2016. So they divide their revenue a bit better. So 46% comes from commercial, 33% from broadcast, and 21% from match day. Barcelona will probably be in the increase. They got Coutinho, so I imagine their commercial sales will be very decent since they lost Neymar. I imagine there'd be a lot of Coutinho jersey purchases since he's a new player. And Barcelona, I'd imagine, would do well in Champions League, so that's always a plus for their revenue. And then we go to the one and only. Are you kidding me? All right, let's just go here to the first division, because for some reason, it's just supposed to be R. Real Madrid. They have a revenue of 674.6 million euros in 2017, which is a very large increase from their 620.1 million euros in 2016. Their commercial source is the highest at 45%, broadcast at 35%, and match day at 20%. So Real Madrid, they're not doing too hot in the league this year, so there might be a little decline in revenue, but since the majority of the revenue comes from commercial sources and broadcast, I don't think it'll exactly matter that much. But nonetheless, they're in Champions League, and if they do well in Champions League, they might, or at least Zidane might be forgiven for his poor league form, as well as the teams. But, they still have a fair amount of games to play, and Madrid they probably won't catch up to Barcelona, but they'll definitely make a run to the European Champions League qualification. So, money. And the last team we have is Manchester United, who is number 1 on Deloitte's Football Money League. Manchester United had 676.3 million euros in 2017 in revenue, which is a slight decrease from the 689 from 2016. And the majority of their revenue of 48% comes from commercial sources, 33% from broadcast, and 19% from match day. And we all know, if you ever search around the footballing world and you stumble across Manchester United, or if you did research into them like I have before back in the day, you will know that they will get sponsorships for whatever. and that's where all the commercial money comes from. So I remember I went Football Manager once, I think it was last year, and I started up Manchester United save just to see what the sponsorships look like. And there's like a section in Football Manager that they just bunch up a whole bunch of sponsorships that don't have any, what do you call it, notability, I suppose, or for some reason they do that. I don't know why. I guess it just looked dumb if your pie chart was cut into like 20 pieces of minor sponsorships. That would probably be the reason why. They just want to simplify it on the pie chart. But anyway, I believe there were around 20 different sponsors, and I was like, I've never seen that before. But then again, I never managed Manchester United in Football Manager, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, like in the world, they have like their own official, I think they have their own official, what do they call it? I know they have official tire sponsorships, and oh yeah, Chevrolet sponsors them. They got the Chevrolet trademark on their jerseys, so that was a big deal. So yeah, as you can see, Manchester United is a serious deal. No joke. They're a commercial powerhouse. Everyone knows this, and that is the case as well in the real world. So the Deloitte article or report also talked about some up-and-coming teams, and let's go look at these up-and-coming teams. There was one, they mentioned one esport team, Fnatic, and then they mentioned this team. They call them Guangzhou Hongda. I don't know what this part means. But yes, Guangzhou is a Chinese team, and in the real world, they're called Guangzhou Evergrande Taobao FC. And according to Deloitte, they had a revenue of 76.3 million euros in 2016. Revenues are split very heavily in the commercial side. 74% of their revenue comes from the commercial side, 18% from their broadcast, 8% from match day. So they're a rising team, clearly. And we could look at their transfer history here. So this year, they only transferred in Sahin for 10.25 million. And has he been doing much work for them lately? Kind of. He's helped them in the Champions League in Asia. He's doing okay, I guess. He's making a lot of money, so that's good for him. And yeah, Guangzhou is I believe in China, they're one of the most dominant teams, past winners. Yeah, they've won the league since 2011. So that is what you call dominance. Although, yeah, they only started in 1994, so they're a fairly young team, which is still cool. Before we round out this video, we have the one team that I gotta talk about, which is Borussia Dortmund. And they were on the list as well. They weren't in the top 10, though. They were 12th with 332.6 million euros in 2017 was their revenue, which is a sizable increase from their 283.9 million in 2016. So they split their revenues 44% in commercial, 38% from broadcast, and 18% from match day. So, yep, rising. Dortmund's rising slowly in the real world. We can only hope that they can keep their key players and not lose them all, but that's only hope. But besides that, as you can see, money is a pretty big deal in football. So yeah, Manchester United is king. I think it's pretty much just a duel between Manchester United, Real Madrid, and FC Barcelona at this point. But I do wonder who would be the first club to ever break the 1 billion revenue or 1 billion euro revenue mark. That would be a pretty cool thing to wonder about, actually. I'd say probably Manchester United, just because they're leading the pack right now, and they're run very commercially heavy. But anyway, that's just my guess. So yeah, tell me what you think in the comments. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. Who will be the first 1 billion revenue club? I haven't researched enough to know much about how the money gets in and out of clubs. Just top of my head, just a guess. But yeah, if you're new, subscribe to the YouTube channel. 3 links below: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Check that out. I always put out updates whenever I upload videos. So thanks for watching, everyone. Hopefully, if you're playing Football Manager or, you're new to the game, take it slow. They have a help thing, too, if you ever need help. And I believe I had old videos that talked about running through the game. So, yeah, check that out if you want. And this is World Town FC, United to Triumph.